Hello, and welcome to Recent Activity, your new favorite entertainment review podcast that attempts to cover every film, every show, all at once. I am your co-host, Andrew Morgan. With me, as always, is a man who gets all his beauty treatment advice from thumb drives, Mr. Shane Beauregard. How are you, sir?
I am doing well, buddy. I am doing well. That's not true, by the way. Other sources, right?
No. It's mostly like advertisements on bus stops. Like, where are you going?
Instagram Reels,
It's
advertisements,
true. Yeah.
Stuff like that. I'm all into that.
Well, it's doing great, man. You're glowing up every day, As the elder statesman of this podcast, it doesn't look like it. So congratulations.
All right. Thank you, sir.
I had a good weekend. Good weekend around.
Great weekend. Great weekend. I know you did, right?
Yeah. No, my weekend was good. It was very busy. We're going to talk about a bunch of it because it was a horror-centric weekend for me, I guess, after I got through with... It was weird. I kind of pivoted around doing horror stuff one day, and then my other days were filled with what could be like movie star or prestige kind of shit around, so, I keep busy, But for this episode, we are going to at least lead with the horror stuff that is around. We have the new movie from Demi Moore and Margaret Qualley, which I've determined is now, she's just in every movie. I think I've seen her in at least 3 movies this year, if not 4. Like
3
I caught
for
up
me,
from one last year. So we're going to do The Substance, which they are the stars of it, and then Never Let Go, which is Halle Berry with, what is it? Alexandre Aja? What's the director's name? The Hills Have Eyes guy.
Alexandre, I think I'm going to call him. Alexandra, but if you want to get, let's call him Aja. I feel like Austin Powers, though. Aja.
Well, and if you call him Aha, then I'm going to do start singing Take On Me or something. I'm in cartoon form all of a sudden. So either way, we're probably wrong. But those are the people who made Never Let Go, which came out this past weekend. Halle Berry, we will continue probably after our conversation on the Union, like a month ago.
Yeah.
Just an odd specimen, an odd career of Halle Berry. But at least she's still starring in things and still staying relevant, of course. So we will talk about those. I'll talk about my time at CT Connecticut Horrorfest that I was at over the weekend, as well as maybe a few other catch-ups in the horror department before we get to a rundown of some other films that we were probably supposed to talk about last week and or caught up with this week, and maybe a check-in on The Penguin, which came out over the weekend. Now, how did they roll that out? Because for what I knew, it was a Max thing, and then people were like, watch it on Sunday. So was it on Max and then on HBO on Sunday?
It came on my Max streaming service Thursday night at 9:00.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I think they aired it on HBO on Sunday night.
Yeah, I watched it Friday night.
Yeah, it's a very confusing rollout. But this is what happens when they're like, oh, no, this is an only Max thing. And then they're like, well, but we have nothing on Sunday right now. So we need to do this. We need the ratings. We need everything. So, I think that's what went down. So don't quote me on that. I could have been off on that. But I did know that it went to Max first. Yep. And I was like, that is weird. But then I had friends of mine who were like, oh, yeah, I caught it Sunday night. I'm like, where? It now turns into an interrogation.
Right.
But let's start out with the horror stuff, Shane. We'll start with The Substance because we both caught this one over the weekend. This is a film festival darling and weirdly a critical darling for a movie that is pure gross body horror, you would probably say, which is a wild thing to do. This is from Coralie Farge, I'm going to go with, because she's French. Otherwise, it looks like Fargiat.
Sounds like a car.
I know it does. Yeah. So I'm probably butchering it both ways. So congratulations. I can butcher your name in any language you want to. I can put it in Spanish if we want to. This is a film that is, as I will quote my friend, also Mike from the Mike and Oscar podcast when I texted him about it. And he said it was a movie that is 60% porn and 40% goo. Do you follow that equation? Or is it more of a 50-50? What do you got?
50-50.
Yeah. Okay. The percentages be damned. It is full of porn and goo. So, like, be sure to know what you're in for when you go see this movie. This stars, like I said, Demi Moore, Margaret Qualley, and Dennis Quaid and others. Which, by the way, did you know that it was not supposed to be Dennis Quaid? That it was actually Ray Liotta's role, but he passed away.
I can see that. I can definitely see that.
I can too.
Yeah.
I actually would have preferred it. No offense, but it's not like Quaid didn't do a admirable job. It's just I think Liotta has a certain edge and just kind of dirtbag thing that he's been doing for so long that Quaid always kind of goes back and forth and has been making almost like family religious movies for like the last.
I was just about to say that. Of all, if you look at his catalog right now, this one jumps off because you're like, whoa, he hasn't done this. Like he's always like, the inspirational coach, or he's the damn priest in some movie about some kid who has no legs, and all of a sudden he's the best baseball player on the planet. Stuff like that.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's weird to see him pop up here, but I wonder if that was either, a favor. I don't know if him and Liotta are friends, maybe, and it's something where I'll take up the mantle for him. But interesting story there. But like I said, this movie is a pure body horror film that looks at a fading celebrity who decides to use a black market drug, a cell-replicating substance that temporarily creates a younger, better version of herself. What could go wrong, Shane? No problems there.
No problems there.
Nope, just as they say, follow the instructions and everything will be fine. No, it's the good thing about this movie is that I didn't know if this was the directorial debut by the director who I had trouble pronouncing, but it's not. And in fact, I felt silly because her first film was a Netflix original, though it's a movie called Revenge from like 2017. Which is basically just a straight a woman
in Australia.
So it's in some desert climate, but I believe it's maybe a different language.
I like that movie actually. Now that you say that,
I watched that.
Yeah, I did watch that movie. Absolutely.
Nice. Well, same director. So it's basically a movie, like I said, called Revenge. That it's a woman goes away on a holiday with her married paramour of some sort, having a fling, having an affair, and then like his hunting buddies show up, and then they all try to hit on her, corner her, do some awful things to her, and then shove her over a cliff.
Yeah.
And somehow she either survives or she's a ghost or whatever. I only saw the trailer, and then she comes back and gets her revenge.
I did not know that was her. I saw that when it came out that year. It was it was right at my wheelhouse. I love that movie.
Yeah, it does sound like a Shane movie for sure.
It was actually really entertaining because it was just had that weird element and just crazy violence, and I can see that now. So good on you, Andrew.
Yeah. Well, Shane, then in the spirit of that, is she 2 for 2? Did you enjoy your time with the substance?
Oh, man. Okay. So let's go into this one. Overall, I would say I enjoyed my experience. It was 2 hours and 20 minutes. I will say it didn't feel that long to me. It was slow paced to start with. This is not a knock on the film, so don't take this the wrong way. But it did feel like for the most 80% of the movie up until the third act, it felt like a Black Mirror episode, like a longer Black Mirror episode. This is something you would see in that realm of Black Mirror or whatever. Tales from the Crypt, right? So,
I feel like we've been saying that a lot lately, and I think it's almost now a compliment to Black Mirror.
It is. And I was thinking Tales from the Crypt because I've seen this kind of story before, right? But I loved Demi Moore in this movie. She was great. Did I expect all the nudity? No. But holy crap.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, what's her name?
Margaret Qualley.
Yeah, Margot Qualley or Margaret
Qualley.
And Margaret Qualley.
Which do you know her mother is Annie McDowell, right?
Yeah. So anyway, when she came in nude, it's all about the nudity at first, people, because this movie's chock full of nudity. I was like,
nudity and workout tape butt shots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whoa, she is hot. Excuse me. She was hot. And I'm like, where have I seen her before? I looked her up. I'm like, there's no way she's the same actress from Driveway Dolls.
Driveway Dolls. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know she was packing that much heat, right? So I love the setup of the movie.
And honestly, maybe she's not in certain parts of that.
Maybe, right?
Because body double stuff.
Body double
If
stuff.
the clothes are on or not,
Right.
whatever. Anyway,
Still,
go ahead.
I loved the setup of this movie. I loved Demi Moore. I thought Quaid was good as the over-the-top, executive or whatever role he played. What kind of got worn out on me was the whole, men are TV, whatever. Men in the industry are terrible, yada, yada. It just was too much, like, hit me over the head with this stuff. I get it. I get what you're trying to relay here. But I thought it was funny in moments. I really enjoyed it, even though it went crazy at the end where, in fact, the people next to me were about to walk out of the theater. Like, they put their heads down and they almost couldn't take it anymore.
Yeah.
But I was just enthralled with the direction, like the way she directed this movie, some of the shots. Like, one of the grossest scenes to me is Dennis Quaid eating the shrimp. I was like, oh, that's disgusting.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the noises. Early on, there was a lot of weird noises.
Just a close-up of his face,
Yeah.
But she had shots in this that were like that. I'm like, this is cool, man. I like this. But, man, just Demi Moore was actually really she was just like all eyes on her for this movie. And I really liked it. I liked the tale. You kind of see where this movie goes as it goes along. You're like, this is not going to end well, right? It was kind of tongue-in-cheek, but I liked the over-the-top gore at the end. I just liked the whole setup, like how they had exchange in like every week. They had to like take turns. Yeah. And I overall, I didn't love it like I thought I would, but man, I really did enjoy myself watching this movie. And yeah, I came away as like, wow, that was different, obviously, with the direction I went to, but I liked it. It was good. I could see myself maybe seeing this like one more time, not in the movie theater, but like, it's not totally rewatchable, but like, it's definitely worth a second view. I love the makeup design for Demi Moore as she goes through her progressions towards the end.
Aging. Yeah.
I like that effect, the makeup effect on that. I thought that was cool. The over-the-top stuff with the fight, like the scene at the end, I won't spoil it, but like just how I don't know. I don't want to spoil it for you people, but yeah, like where she gets kicked and she goes flying through I was like, wow, that's over the top. But yeah, no, I liked it, man. I was trying to think, like, when was this movie like supposed to be set in the 80s?
Yeah, I had that discussion. So, of course, Shane, you know me. This was a perfect date night movie if you ever seen one. So, of course, that's what it was for me. And so the discussion was after the movie. Well, one, I will say it to you as well as I messaged my buddy Mike from Mike and Oscar. I was like, hey, man, I don't know what this says, but my girlfriend thinks The Substance is her favorite movie of the year. And I was like, and he was like, she's a keeper. So I'm like, that's a good thing. So that obviously tips his hand of what he thought about the movie. But he, just when I was thinking about it, the two things we were talking about was like, what do we think about the movie and when did this take place? And also, what reality is it? Like, what level of reality are we dealing with? Because things like you said with the kick where she gets kicked across the room like a superhero and some of the ultra violence and stuff where it's like, no, this person would be fully dead, like very early. Like it shouldn't have taken that long to get them in that state. And then, obviously all the other gross out stuff in the end, you got that reality going on and how people treated that. And, there's multiple views where it seems like a detached, like daydream kind of a thing. Right. And then there's, the actual reality and some of it lines up, some of it doesn't. And then, so it's hard to get a grasp on any of it. But if I had to say, it feels like almost like, because I thought about Suzanne Summers, right? Because Suzanne Summers was one of those people who was a star in her own right in TV and movies and whatever else, and then moved into the fitness realm and had, what was it? The Thigh Master lasted, it felt like forever, and into her, I don't know, probably almost 60s?
Yeah. I was thinking Jane Fonda with the whole
50s maybe?
aerobic
That too?
craze. Yeah. And she did
Sure.
that for a while. She was like this big, everyone do the Jane Fonda workout. She had the socks
Right.
on and the shoes and the leggings and stuff. So that's where my mind went.
Yeah, but it almost feels like to me that it went from like an 80s into the 90s vibe. Like somebody who survived the like almost like, Richard Simmons level of fitness into, obviously that's not what she was doing, but you get it.
Yeah,
Where it's like this old school one who's been around forever. And then all of a sudden here's this really like blasted out hip hop dance kind of, aerobicizing where it seems like we're leaning into the 90s or into the early 2000s or whatever. So I don't know. And I don't think they fully care.
No.
I think they just want to kind of show the transition, I guess. And it's more about the, the feminist aspect, or at least like the awful treatment from, like you said, the patriarchy, the executive class, all those things against women and everything else. So there's that. This is another one of those movies, though, Shane, that I agree with everything that you said, except for the fact that I think it did go a little too long.
Okay.
Like but only once it got to the final act.
Yeah,
because I was like, just this is going on forever, and like how many people are seeing this monstrosity kind of a thing go on, and you have to like buy in, watch it, deal with it, like all the levels of the gross, and then it still goes on, it seems. So those were a little harder to be like, all right, how long are we into this movie now?
Yeah.
So that was a little bit much at times, but especially because I would prefer seeing like the Margaret Qualleys and the Demi Moore, where you could still recognize them as things are going on. I was way more engaged when it was that than the end. So for whatever that were, and this is also another one of those classic movies because it was a festival thing, because it was critically well received, and almost to like an absurd level, because the current Letterboxd score is 4.1, which is really high. Like it's like one of the best of the year high, and that's not how I felt at the end of this movie, but I liked it. So it's one of those like, well, geez, what the fuck? What did people think? Like, and you go in almost thinking, because it's a festival thing and all those things, that there's going to be another layer to the story. But I think this is pretty straightforward and mostly rides on the excessive level of body horror and all the other stuff to kind of make it stand apart, which I have no problem with. But I think I was going in thinking there was something either headier or something extra, especially for that length of a movie.
Yeah, I agree there. And I thought about that after the movie too. And this goes to my unpopular theory. Sorry, people. That I think some people in 2024 are either afraid or reserved to come down on women writer directors and don't want to say like their film is just, fabulous, because it's good.
Yeah, especially when you combine it with a feminist slant, maybe. Yeah. But like, I agree to an extent. I think maybe they just get a little overrated sometimes.
They do.
But there's a million examples on the other side, so I don't want to seem like it's that. But I understand what you mean.
Right, because like you said, I walked away saying I really liked this film. I liked it, but like, there's no. Everything you see in this movie, there's no like layer underneath it. There's no like, I gotta really sit here and think about this movie. Like, what were they trying to say? Right. Or like, it is what it is. Like, what you see on screen is exactly what you get. There's no like hidden messages or nothing. It's all out there for you. What I laughed about, the scene that I laughed at, one, the New Year's Eve scene at the end, I'm like, oh man, the crowd's there. They show this little girl there, and all of a sudden, all the dancers are topless. I'm like, what New Year's Eve show is about?
Yeah, exactly. Here? I'm like, is this on the Playboy Channel? What are we doing? Yeah, it seemed like I thought it was like a network, like
ABC
New Year's
or
Rockin'
something.
Eve. Yeah.
And I think the most unbelievable part for me is when Demi Moore goes to get the substance. There's no way she's going in that building and going under that door to get that substance. There's no way. Most unbelievable. Of course,
they do that to make it.
I know
the desperation it could be.
I know, but still, it's like, come on, man. Even I wouldn't have walked down that alley into that building.
No, but everything didn't line up. And this is where I kind of there's a million things in this movie that you can say that took me out. If you want to say that, some people will just ride through the whole time because it's like, absurdist pretty early on.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it kind of goes back to what I was saying before. It seems like a classic. Like, imagine the first time, if I don't know if you've seen a lot of David Cronenberg in your life,
All of them.
but I think the first time I saw The Fly was probably like on TV, right? So, and young. So I'm watching it and it's like, holy crap, it really throws you off. But again, it's one of those things where it caught you off guard. Nobody told me that, like, oh, this is one of the best movies I've ever seen or one of the best movies of the year. Like, we're now in an age where the hype is, especially coming out of film festivals and all these other things, like, it can get a lot, and obviously these scores prove it too. I think if this movie caught me off guard, I might be a little more into it than what I am now, which again is still a good score. I think it's probably close to like a top film of the, like a top 20, somewhere in that range. But the way it's being rated is like top 5 or less, so it's like, I can't get there, but that's not a knock on this movie. And Lord knows I would love to be like if you don't know anything about this movie, I would say go in as cold as you can and just go witness the mayhem and enjoy it.
Yeah.
But don't think like, oh man, this is going to be like some huge, just take it out of your brain.
Yeah.
Just be like, I like horror movies. Go see this as a horror movie.
Yeah. And it works.
Yeah, it does. And like you said, like Demi Moore was like a revelation. She was great. Like all the different versions of herself that she has to be. And obviously even Margaret Qualley was really good.
Yeah.
But again, it's just I'm trying to grip on that reality where like she didn't even have like a last name. Nobody did a background check on this woman. Like there's like she moved into the exact place that, her predecessor was, but they don't check. Like there's a lot of things that just kind of go, really?
Just gotta gloss over.
So yeah. So like don't fact check this movie. Just enjoy it for what it is and you'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
So I think that's really what I go in. Do you have a grade in mind? I'm curious.
I do. I gave it 3.5.
Yeah, I think that's where it has to live.
Yeah.
Because did you find yourself like, it feels like it's in that realm of Cuckoo and Longlegs and some of these other ones where I'm like, I like so much about this, but it doesn't fully gel for me, but I would tell people to watch it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Realm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So, and that's what I'm saying. Like, if I looked at my top 20 lately, I think 19 and 20 are Cuckoo and Longlegs.
Yeah, it's right there.
So, yeah, so it's right there. I don't know where I'd power rank that. I'd probably put this above those two.
I personally like Cuckoo.
Like a little bit?
I like Cuckoo a little more than this movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
At least this movie knew what it was, I guess. That's like Cuckoo seems like it's a little all over the place for me. And then Longlegs, I just have some like pace and certain character issues. But they all have the one thing in common of like, if you close your eyes and think about that movie, you have it right there. Like it is not going to leave you. There's an imagery with those three movies that you're just like, oh yeah, no, I could see it right in my mind's eye. So that's not going anywhere. So good on them, because that's half the battle with horror, especially if you like, I was at Connecticut Horror Fest this weekend. Like for people dressing up as cosplay, if somebody cosplayed as anything from those three movies, I'd be like, yep, know exactly what that is.
Yep.
So that's a good idea. You also caught Never Let Go with Halle Berry. I did not catch this. And part of the reason was like, I have options this weekend, and this one was getting very mediocre reviews. Did you find it any better than maybe those reviews would suggest?
Oh, boy. Slightly better.
Okay.
This movie's not exactly what I expected, and I'm a big Aja fan based on like the Hills Have Eyes remake. I love that movie. I loved Crawl. Like I love everything this guy does. High Tension.
I believe Oxygen is him too, right?
Oxygen is him as well.
Yeah.
So I love him, and he wasn't the problem with this movie. I mean, obviously, for those who don't know, It's about a family that has been haunted by an evil spirit for years. Their safety and their surroundings come into question when one of the children questions if the evil is real or not. And you have Halle Berry playing the mom, and basically just her two sons played by Anthony Jenkins and Percy Daggs IV as Nolan and Samuel, respectively. They live out in this remote cabin. I'm going to guess Louisiana based on Halle Berry's kind of there, kind of not accent.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, who knows? There's been some kind of outbreak, something evil that corrupted the world, and the world is no more. That's the line that she's feeding her kids. They all attach themselves to this rope that's like secured to the foundation of the house, and the house is protected by her parents who built it. It's explained in the movie, so just take it for what it is. And every day they have to go out there and kind of like scrounge around for their own food and survive while they cannot let go of this rope. Because as it is explained 1,000 times during this movie, you can never let go of the rope or the evil's going to get you. And they have to say this little blessing all the time to make sure the evil didn't touch them. But that is reminded, again, every 5 minutes, it's mentioned never let go of the rope or what's going to happen to you. So throughout this movie, Halle Berry starts to... you see what she sees, what she does see evil spirits. But as the movie goes along, this movie makes you question whether or not is she seeing what's there is real or if it's not real. Right. So as this movie goes along, it's very slow paced. So this is a very different Aja movie for me because he usually gets you there and then ramps up the tension and away you go. It's like a roller coaster ride. This is not it. But he uses the surroundings of the woods and the forest. And the shots he does of the house and everything surrounding him works really well. It builds the tension really without the character stuff. So this movie kind of reminded me of a little bit of The Village, a little bit, but a lot of Frailty, which is a movie a lot of people don't know about with Matthew McConaughey.
I love that movie. Yeah.
It reminds me of that, but it doesn't pull it off quite as well, right? Yeah. So... I took my daughter to see this and my girlfriend. They both liked it. My daughter loved it, which I was shocked because it's so slow paced, right? So at the end of this movie, you're going to sit there and say, well, was she crazy or were the kids right? Because again, one kid starts to see this stuff happen and the other brother's like, there's a world out there. And there's events that happen in the third act where like you go and you're like, well, was that person there or wasn't there? Because I don't want to spoil this movie for you. It's worth a watch. Halle Berry does a great job. There were a couple twists in here that I didn't expect. But at the end, my takeaway, and this isn't a spoiler because it's in the thing, is she crazy or not? I thought, my personal opinion is she's schizophrenic. She hallucinates and is passed down to one of her sons. That is my guess on this movie. So I agree a little bit with the critics, but I gave it a little higher scoring. I can't give it an Andrew cheat code because I won't do it. But it's not a 3.5, but it's not really a 3. But because I'm not using a cheat code, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5.
Yeah,
it's worth it if you're an Aja fan or a Halle Berry fan. They build up her character, but they don't give you enough background on her childhood. If they did that, gave her like, oh, this is how she grew up, this is what she's feeling, this is why this happened, it would make more sense. That's why I said the script kind of failed this movie because they don't build enough mythos in that family tree of what is going on. They just give you little hints and you have to piece everything together. So I think they did the best they could with this script. That being said, it was a decent night at the movies. In the theater I went to see it was 80% full. So
oh wow.
Yeah, it was a good...
Because it didn't make a ton of money, I believe, when I looked.
It was a good turnout, though. So I was kind of surprised on that. So, 3. That is my review for Never Let Go. I guess I would say proceed with caution, man. Don't come at me if you've seen this movie like, oh, man, this movie sucked.
Yeah. It made 4.4 over the weekend, which isn't going to cut it. And especially for, like, the star that's there, combined with the fact that everybody just thinks horror is so bankable.
Yeah.
Like... 4.4 feels like tarot numbers. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shouldn't happen.
It is. And I told my daughter at the end, I'm like, yeah, it's a horror film, but not a lot of... There's a couple jump scares in here, but, like, it's not your typical horror. I don't know. So
it's like psychological horror?
Yeah. Yeah, perfect.
I guess if you even want to put it that way.
Perfect way to explain it, Andrew, because it's not like what I would consider true horror.
Right.
So, not my favorite Aja outing, but, tried something a little different here than his normal piranha and crawl stuff. So I give him credit for that.
Sure. Though, maybe I might prefer a little bit. Like I said, like Crawl is really good. And again, I haven't seen this movie, so I don't want to make that statement too harsh. But, yeah, I like a lot of his films. So I guess maybe I should would you recommend that I make the time? Or is this like just fine if I wait till home?
I'm almost afraid of the repercussions if I tell you to go see this.
Although 3, I mean, that kind of feels like
you're
telling me I could wait.
Yeah, you can wait, man. You can wait. Because I'm sure within a month or two, it's going to be coming to something.
Yeah, those numbers don't help the cause with that fact. I'm sure it will be.
I mean, I can see it doing really well on like Netflix or Peacock or whatever streaming service it goes to. I can see it do really 100%.
well. 100%. Yep. Especially if it's Halle Berry and Netflix. That's like, she already has a foothold in there in the last couple of years. So those definitely work. So do you know who made it? Like, is it Sony? Is it like who? It's Lionsgate.
Yep, Lionsgate.
So, yeah, I don't know if they have a deal with anybody. So now that's intriguing me. So who knows? That might be a wild card. Because what's funny, I'm glad you said The Village and things like that, because immediately, like, I went like, is this Arcadian? Is this The Watchers? Is there some extra thing that, like, it's like, is it there? And then once it is there, it's like something sci-fi horror, or is it like some monster? Is it a monster movie? Is it anything? It literally could have been anything. And that's the appeal, I guess. But I think part of it is like, maybe that's why people stayed away.
Right.
To like kind of be like, let's see what people are saying and then go check it out.
Right. Because I think the last time I saw the critic score was like 72%, which isn't terrible, right? It's
a 2.8 on Letterboxd.
Okay.
So that's what, and when I think I saw it last on IMDb, it was in like the 5s with like maybe a 50 something Metascore. So like, again, very middling. Yep. That's why I was curious to see what you thought in all of this. But yeah, so again, we're in September. If I'm a movie like this, whether I'm The Substance or Never Let Go, the one thing that I want to do is hang in there until October. Because once people start being like, ooh, I'm going to do 31 horror movies in 31 days, and maybe people will go to the box office and give their money to like something like this if it's still out and it has reasonable reviews and things like that. But we're sitting here on the 23rd. And here's the thing too. Have you looked forward at all? Like, as far as like, I don't know if you do any of those things. Like I said, like try to watch as many horror movies in a month, or if you put a certain challenge to yourself or whatever. But like, there's a lot. Like, even for, I've been a loud critic on the lack of Netflix stuff. Like, usually it's like, okay, maybe they'll have a Flanagan thing, which I'll get to. I watched Haunting of Hill House finally. I know you'll be proud of me for that one because you're a big Flanny fan. But I always am like, they never have enough horror movies. And then when they do try to pile it on, they've had like Netflix and Chills. Mm-hmm. They did like a couple times or whatever. I'm like, oh, maybe they shouldn't do horror movies like, because their originals aren't always great. Like, I probably liked maybe a couple of horror films from Netflix. And maybe if you count the Fear Street series, like, then yeah, I enjoyed that as like a project, as like a thing. I really enjoyed that. So there's that. There's His House, which I think is excellent as far as like horror movies go, and there's a few others. But now I'm looking at this year, I'm like, damn, they have like 2 horror movies on the same day in like a couple weeks, with It Lives Inside or It's What's Inside, whatever it is, and The Platform too, which I enjoyed. The Platform years back now. Jesus, it's got to be like 4 years.
Yeah, 4 years.
I think so. I think it was a pandemic special, or it was like around that time. So it was, I'm pretty confident it was 2020. So yeah, man, I think it's going to get swallowed up. I'm trying to, and then of course, like even the non-horror stuff, like your Jokers and whatever else are going to come through too. Is there any like horror movie that you got your eye on? Because even isn't the Hugh Grant one like in November?
It's like November. So I don't really have my eye on anything in October yet, except for the ones you mentioned. There's nothing like that caught my eye yet outside of the ones we were just talking about. Then I'm like, oh. But usually with the horror movies in October, like for some reason they always kind of pop out of nowhere to me. I'm like, oh, this is 2000. Like this is this year. This is never heard of this one. So
Right.
That's kind of what I'm waiting for on this, because I'm not into. And I'll tell you,
Smile 2 and Terrifier 3.
I was gonna say I'm not into the Terrifier movies, and which was a surprise to my daughter because she was like, "Why don't you like the Terrifier?" I'm like, I don't
Right.
like horror gore just for the sake of gore, like Eli Roth stuff. I'm not into.
Yeah, torture porn.
Yeah,
basically.
I'm not into that stuff. So I'm out on the Terrifier, but I am out on Smile.
I've been on record. I think we covered the last Terrifier movie on this podcast when Chris was still here, and I'm on the record of like Art the Clown is fucking terrifying, and in like this weird, like almost like he tries to be comical, but he's really a striking image, like that they actually almost I think don't use well enough, because they don't go close up on him a lot. And I think if they did, it'd be way worse on the on the audience experience. But yeah, I think it's worthy of a franchise. It's good enough, and I'll probably check out Terrifier 3. But I'm not like, oh man, got to run out there.
Right. Well, listen, man. When it comes to horror, you don't need to be worthy for a franchise, a la 7 Leprechaun movies and 20 Saw movies.
Yeah, isn't that the Saw thing I'll give you, but like, isn't that kind of the old ways? Like the only thing now where it's like, unless you have like a true franchisey thing, like The Conjuring, or what do we end up getting? 3 Insidious movies? Did they do more than 2?
3, yeah, 3.
I think they got to 3. So yeah, and obviously a Scream after Scream after Scream, and whatever else. So, and in fact, I heard, are they doing another I Know What You Did Last Summer?
Yeah, I saw that today.
Are they giving that the reboot treatment?
I don't know if they're doing a reboot treatment, or reimagining treatment of whatever.
Yeah.
But no, I did hear that today. I didn't get a chance to read the details on it though.
Well, didn't we already reimagine it? Didn't they have like, what was it, Amazon or somebody did the TV show? Yeah. So I don't know, man. I think they just wanted to bring all the old heads back and do the Scream thing.
Yeah.
Because I think they're bringing back your Jennifer Loves and all that stuff. So that'll be interesting. But yeah, so Connecticut Horror Fest was great. I'm in total, horror movie mode all weekend. This was after, like I said, I already watched Haunting of Hill House. And I'm here to report that if you haven't seen all of the Flannys or didn't start from the beginning like me, where we covered Fall of House of Usher, what was it, this time last year?
Yeah.
Or how long ago was that? Was it this time last year, I guess?
Yeah.
In October, presumably. Haunting a Hill House was great. Like, I actually wept. Like, that is simultaneously got enough scares and enough, but like, it's such a good family drama that it really hits you. Is that how you feel on that? Because I think you told me you said this was your favorite of the Flannys, right?
It was, absolute favorite of the Flannys. It's, like I like all the stuff, but it's definitely stronger than like Midnight Mass, which was hard for me to get into. Midnight Club and the Fall House of Usher. This is by far his best one.
So let me ask you a question. As a person who's doing this completely out of order, because I've only seen Fall House of Usher and now Hill House, my next move, I was like, I'm going to do another one of the Flannys. Part of me balked at watching Blythe Manor because it was similar or same cast or a lot of the same, where like, especially like some of the people who played the older kids are now the main cast of that one, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep.
And I was like, all right, well, but then do I go to like Midnight Mass or Midnight Club instead? And so I don't know what to do with my time, but I definitely want to keep going. What would you suggest?
Just to clarify, and I'm sorry, we did cover this, but you saw the Midnight Club, right?
No.
Oh boy. Okay. I would go Midnight Club and then I like Bly Manor. I think that's his second best series.
Yeah.
But Midnight Club is a nice change of pace from
So
Haunting of Hill House. It's a little different. So if you don't want something similar back to back, I would go to the Midnight Club. That was fun. Well, not fun, but fun and just different. Younger cast, different cast than he's used to working with.
Right.
So I actually did like that a lot. It's right. It's right.
And you like
there.
that better than Midnight Mass.
Midnight Mass was a weird journey of a miniseries. Like, I liked the writing in it, but it is very slow to like really get going. And then like, so you have to stick with it, man. But what I felt about the Midnight Mass was some of the characters they brought in weren't developed like his other series. And you think it's going, his arc or her arc's going somewhere, and it really doesn't lead to like anything. You're like, well, why'd you bring him in for 3 episodes when like you thought he was gonna be the central character? Then it's like, oh, well, no, now we gotta like pivot like to what you're thinking for 3 episodes. And so I just thought his character development in Midnight Mass wasn't as strong as his other ones. But the story's there, and I like it. But it just, didn't grab me like the other ones.
Gotcha. All right. Well, that's actually very good advice. So I think maybe I'll go to Midnight Club next and then try to pivot back. Because I do like that cast a lot. It's just I just spent so much time with them. So it's hard to... If I had a year in between or whatever they probably did in real time, I'd be like, okay, cool, man, I miss these guys. And then go right back to it. But to do it like right after is a lot.
Yeah, because Hill House and Bly Manor were 2 years apart.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's a good... But he didn't have anything in between, though.
No, it was Hill House in 18, Bly Manor in 20, Midnight Mass in 21, and Midnight Club in 22, and Usher 23. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm very excited now that he's back doing movies because I miss him doing movies. And I'm glad that this Life of Chuck thing is doing very well. For anyone who didn't know, he won the Audience Award at the Toronto International Film Festival for his new movie. So Mike Flanagan's back doing movies and doing them well. It's a Stephen King adaptation, but it's not horror. So it's, it's on the... Some people would be like, it's on the Shawshank spectrum
Green
because
Mile,
like that's the
Shawshank.
only one you could think of. Right, yeah.
Stand By Me.
Or, yeah, exactly. So, those are still very obviously some of his best work. So I'm definitely intrigued by that for sure. So I will definitely look forward to that whenever that comes out. It still doesn't have distribution that I'm aware of. I don't think anyone's picked it up yet, which is wild when it won. Yeah. But before we move on to the non-horror section, I do want to shout out the people at Connecticut Horror Fest, including our friend Scary Larry Dwyer and all his crew who has put on a great thing that's growing and growing and growing. So if you live in Connecticut and you haven't gone to Connecticut Horror Fest, it's growing. It's getting better. The people who they get for like photo op, like autographs, like the talent that they bring in is very good. This year they had a whole panel of people from Starship Troopers. They did a panel of people. They had Alex Winter from Bill and Ted, and they because he was in Lost Boys, and they did like a whole Lost Boys panel thing. So like there's a lot of stuff that they're doing. They brought in Peter Weller, RoboCop, and all that. It's amazing what they could pull off on this. And now they're not only did they get to a new venue in the Connecticut Convention Center that was way better than the previous one at the Excel Center in Hartford, but now they're going to do 2 shows in a year. So they're going to do one in Stamford and one in Hartford. So be sure to check that out, especially now if you live in Stamford. Trust me, if you're in Fairfield County and didn't want to go all the way to Hartford, check it out when it comes back and it does its first incarnation of that in May, because it's definitely worth it. And it's such a massive undertaking for these guys. A lot of volunteers, including our friend John Amenta from The Pint, who got to be the co-pilot, the assistant for Michael Ironside all weekend, which is pretty amazing.
That's pretty freaking cool.
Yeah. He had a lot of fun stories. He seemed to have a lot of fun with him. So if you're buddies with him, just check. pick his brain about it because I ran into John and we had a nice little laugh before he went back and did that. And then he ended up moderating the Starship Troopers panel.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. So, because it was Jake Busey, Ironside, or no, that is her name, Dina Meyer.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, she played Dizzy Flores.
Dizzy Flores,
in Starship Troopers. Yeah. So she was there as well. So they had like a whole trio and he got to moderate the panel. So congratulations to John. That was a fun little thing. And I guess the audio from that panel is going to be an upcoming episode of The Pint. So if you're not already a subscriber to The Pint, a pop culture podcast, and you've heard John on here on our podcast, definitely go check it out now because you're going to get some nice inside dirt on Starship Troopers if you're into that. So be sure to go do that. But Shane, let's get into let's kind of do a speed round here on some stuff that we've been collecting over the little bit. First, I have to ask because again, of all the Shane movies, The Killer's Game came out and we were both into it. You were obviously really looking forward to this movie, and when I saw that the Metascore was red, I was like, that is not a good sign. That movie kind of came and went. Nobody really said much about it. That wasn't very kind. But what sucked, you and I were both into the premise.
Yeah.
Batista is a hit or miss kind of entity, but man, it kind of just looked like a fun shoot 'em up. So what happened with The Killer's Game?
It was a fun shoot 'em up. I don't know what the problem is with this movie. Like, it was a blast. It was a blast, dude. I loved Batista in this role. Like, everyone knows the story. We talked about it. It was funny. It was fast paced. Yeah, it's a lot of holes in this movie, but who cares? Like, the cast was good. The action was good. It wasn't like I know you're scared of like the squibs, and they had a little bit of that, but it wasn't like what you feared. Like, it wasn't like.
Well, it was more like the lack of squibs.
Yeah.
It was like the CGI blood effects that I was like, really, dude? We couldn't do squibs?
Right. It wasn't terrible. They had some really good kills here, some really good fight scenes in here. The fight choreography was fine. You know what it reminded me of as the movie went along? If you're a fan of Smokin' Aces, it reminded me of Smokin' Aces.
Okay. Yeah, that's I'd be into another one of those. Yeah.
And this isn't like a negative because I enjoyed my time in the movies, but like this could have been like a Netflix or Amazon Prime movie and been like, oh my God, that was like really good for a Netflix movie. Like,
sure.
You know what I mean? And I didn't care. I saw this in the movie. I really enjoyed it. The only thing that I found interesting was their choice as Sophia Boutella as the love interest.
Yeah.
And she was fine, but like they didn't use her for any action scenes. And I know that's not her role in this movie, but she's known for action. Like,
yeah.
So she was sidelined as that aspect. She was mainly just the love interest of Batista. And so I'm like, you have this certified badass female who can carry action and is really good at it. And you just kind of like sidelined her in that aspect, which was fine. It made sense as the story went on, but like, just pick a different actress then maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
But other than that, man, like Batista gets crap, but this is a lot better than like the Spy Kids shit he's been doing on Amazon. Like this was
My Spy.
Yeah, My Spy. Sorry, My Spy stuff. Like I liked him in this role, man. He was good. Ben Kingsley was funny. Like them two together were good.
I didn't even know he was in that movie.
Yeah, he played like Batista's handler, like the guy who sets up all the drops or hits. And Kimiko from The Boys is in this. Yeah, nice. She's in it. She has.
Isn't Palm from who played Mantis?
Yeah.
Is she in this too? And
Yeah.
she was in Mission Impossible?
Yeah, so like some of the characters were over the top. That's why I brought up Smokin' Aces, because as soon as you see these other assassins come in, it's like, oh, they're over the top. They're flamboyant. They got their own little thing. Like the Scottish guys, here's the Spanish guy. Was whatever. I liked it. It was fun. So once it comes to Amazon Prime or Peacock or wherever, it's only an hour and 40 minutes. It's fine, dude. It's good action. It's like, it is what it is, and it's a Shane movie, and I loved it. So I gave it a really solid 3.
Okay, I mean, listen, for what it's getting, that's like an A+ report card. Like they would sign up for that right now because, like I said, I think the Metascore is like in the 20s or 30s.
Yeah, the IMDb score right now is 5.7. So
right. But that's I think what Never Let Go was getting.
Yeah.
So
That's exactly what it got.
Again, you were saying you're saying a lot of similar things where you're like, if this was on streaming, it would do great. And you said the same thing about Never Let Go. So I guess that's kind of where this is going to live and might thrive later on, like a few weeks from now, where people are going to be like, oh man, I had never heard of this movie, because nobody watched it. And then it came and went, and now it's on streaming. So that might work out for that for sure. A couple of things on my end. I caught Wolves over the weekend, which is gonna end up on Apple TV this weekend. This was one of my most anticipated movies of this final part of the year. It has George Clooney, Brad Pitt, basically as two cleaners, fixers of sorts, that come to the same job to have to fix a situation where there's a body involved, and then it goes on from there. I don't want to spoil anything, of course, but what I was hoping for this movie was just pure entertainment. You give me two movie stars of that caliber, and I want it to be just either like bubbly, kind of fun, like give me like the Out of Sight vibes, right? Or give me like something just, nothing too heavy. These guys don't equate to that. And then also, but maybe, if it's very light, then yeah, I want the almost like a Doug Liman type treatment. Of course, this is done by John Watts and not Doug Liman, or obviously Steven Soderbergh in the Out of Sight sense, or him knowing what to do with them in the Ocean sense. I don't know, man. This movie was a little boring and a little flat, almost a little too convoluted, and it just didn't let them like cook enough. But there are a lot of moments where I'm like, all right, cool. But I think it's just almost too snarky, but not as much fun. I've seen a lot of like reviews from people online just being like, these guys showed up and that's enough for me, and this is good. I would say it's adequate. And if you just really like these guys, give it a chance. But when I got out of there, I was like, Apple was probably right.
You just stole my question.
Wide.
You just stole my question.
Yeah.
I was about to ask you that. Do you think Apple made the right decision to pull it from the theatrical release?
Probably.
Okay.
And because it felt a little like this is streaming quality, or this is, like it looked good. It looked better than like saying something like that, or what you think of maybe when you like close your eyes. It's like this movie's not, John Cena and Jackpot. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not that. But at the same time, it didn't feel fully baked. And not only that, because the story, or we talked about it previously on here, where they told them we're not going to put this out wide, but we'll guarantee you a sequel. So the end of this movie is very strange to me, where it's like, I'm having an okay time, and then where it gets at the end, it's like, oh, that's where this movie should have started. And now that's where it's going to start, quote unquote, to get to part 2.
Okay.
And so I'm like, I felt a little like, did you just waste my time? So I left with a little bit of a mixed emotions on it. And at most it's a 3, but I don't even know if I can get there.
This should be the title of our podcast. If this was on streaming,
and it will be. I'm sure there's a lot of.
I'm just saying, based on what we reviewed, it's like, well, if this was on streaming, like, it would do really well.
Yeah. Well, so it will be, and I'm curious to see what you think, especially because it's Apple TV Plus. So I know you're a major, big time subscriber, because you probably watch more shows on there than I have, at least. So I definitely want to know what you think with that, and obviously you out there, let us know what you think. If you catch it over the weekend, or if you happen to see it in theaters. I drove an hour out of my way because I was like, Brad Pitt and George Clooney, I got to see this on a big screen. And I was like, man, can they give me gas money? Can they validate? What are we doing here? Give me a free month of Apple TV Plus, whatever. Yeah, maybe. Who knows? But I will say, before we get to any of the TV stuff, two other movies that actually I think are solid recommendations, so we can end on a high note here. His Three Daughters is the movie I covered for Netflix this week. It's kind of like a family drama dealing with three sisters, dealing with basically their father at the end stage of his life, like a hospice situation inside an apartment, small New York City apartment. So a lot of heavy energies, a lot of, infighting and all these things, but ultimately coming out with a solid family drama, and like acted the shit out of it between those three lead characters, and a lot of go for broke supporting performances from a couple of people in there outside of the main three. I gave this 4 out of 5, and that's rare this year. So if you're up for a family drama with that kind of level of heft to it, because you're talking about end of life stuff or whatever, but it's mostly just people dealing with each other during like a very intense grief moment, and it's so well written. I was very impressed, and it's the top 3 are huge: Carrie Coon, Elizabeth Olsen, and Natasha Lyonne. So great cast, really good writing, definitely worthy of your attention. So check that out on Netflix. It's out now. And I caught Transformers 1 with my kids, and I will say this: it's a PG movie, but there's a lot of like, really, dude, this isn't a PG movie? And then some of the actual like Transformer violence, I was like, damn, this movie kind of goes hard a little bit. And like, so I was kind of like staring at my kids like, you guys good? They're like 8, 9 years old, almost 10. And, it's like, all right, okay. And so at the end, I was like asking them like, did you guys like it? They're like, oh yeah, we really liked it. I was like, all right, cool. Then we're going to go see more violent shit coming forward, because this is a good predecessor. But like, one of the characters keeps asking people to have him call him Badassatron, which is funny and it's great, but I'm like, this is a PG Transformers movie? Like, what are we doing? And then like I said, some of the violence and like there's like even like a middle finger joke. They don't show the middle finger, but they kind of, it's all this implied stuff all the time. It kind of just winks a lot for being a PG movie. With that said, I was like, I had a lot of fun with this movie. Like, if I wasn't a dad just like looking both ways before I crossed the street, and I just went in there like just as like a older nerd who watched Transformers as a kid, I'd be like, all right, this is pretty cool. So and yeah, there's really good voice work, all that stuff. The animation's good, but it's a little weird to get used to. It's definitely a different breed.
Okay.
But I had a great time.
Awesome. Because
I'd probably give it a 3.5.
Because I actually wanted to see this as well. Being a Transformers, like grown up on that, I really wanted.
Totally worth
okay.
It. Yeah.
Sealed it for
and especially
me.
as a person who bailed on the live action Transformers after like the first couple.
Right.
This was a welcomed addition. So I'm with that.
Okay. Awesome.
So yeah, and so with that said, speaking of nerdy stuff that has been with us since our childhood, you caught the premiere of The Penguin out on Max. So let me know, man, because like it's been a minute since the Batman came out. This is supposed to kind of satiate us and carry us between the Batman and its sequel. And I love this universe. I love this version of Gotham. So I'm in. Should I be more in? Because a lot of people are just be like, this is just more IP garbage.
Oh, gosh, damn it. This is the best thing I've seen TV-wise, like as a pilot episode, the first episode, in a long, long time. Like,
oh, all right.
This grips you from like the first scene to the end of the episode. Like, right. Colin Farrell grabs you with this character and you're just in for the ride. It was fucking fantastic. Excuse my language. It was great. Okay. Like, if you love crime dramas like The Sopranos or movies like Goodfellas, like this is right up your alley. Like, this takes place. They show you like the flooding of Gotham after the Batman. They even talk about the Batman in this show. But it leaves you with like what the Penguin's plans are as a middling mobster now that Falcone's gone. The other family telling him like he's torn in directions, and God, this show was just so. If they released the whole episode, I would have been up all night watching every single. I would have been done. Like I would stay up to 5 o'clock in the morning watching this series.
Right.
That's how engrossing this was, and I don't care if it's not necessary, but it's definitely going to bridge the gap between the Batman and the Batman 2 or whatever they haven't planned. I love this side of Gotham. It's like the gritty, dirty, grungy crap that you kind of see on the superficial level in the Batman movies, but you're not at ground level with it. I loved it. I mean, they introduce like through the episode, you meet his, I guess, sidekick or whatever, protege or whatever, Renee Velez as Victor. Great.
Mm-hmm.
I love the chemistry between those two. You could tell like the Penguin's this character who's conflicted. Like he's definitely a psychopath. You can see that, or a sociopath, but like he has good in him. So he's like,
right.
Which way is he going to go here? Like you could tell he has a heart, but he doesn't like to show his heart. And they explain why. Like they introduce his mother in this show. Like they have that dynamic, and it's like, okay. I can see where you get your crap from. Like, but Colin Farrell, holy shit, like just destroys it as this character, man. Even though he's unrecognizable. Yeah. It's funny during like long-winded speeches he has to give. Like you can hear his regular voice come out with whatever accent, whatever like Penguin voice he's trying to use. But man, I'm in for the freaking ride on this one. Holy crap, I'm in for the ride. You get a little bit of Clancy Brown has a scene in this episode, which was great, by the way. My God, I'm in, dude. I'm in.
Love it. No, I'm intrigued. I've been on this train. I'm just hoping, like I feel the way you do when I watch it, because it's like it's one of those things where we're getting a double dose of it, of shows that were a long time coming, between the Penguin and Agatha all along on Disney Plus, where it's like WandaVision was 3.5 years ago, something like that. So, and Agatha's the side characters is not the Scarlet Witch, so it's like, what kind of show are we getting? What is this going to do? And then the Penguin, same thing, where it's a side character off of a movie instead of a series, but again, a long time coming. And then it only just reminds me that, like, Jesus Christ, now I got to wait even longer to get another Matt Reeves Batman movie to come through too. So I'm hoping, with your great words and 8 episodes that is going to ride me into November, I hope it does everything that you're saying it started with and more.
Right. Now what you're saying, I think this is off mic, I think we're talking about this anyway, the whole drop Thursday on Max, and I don't know why this isn't a Sunday night show, for especially like since House of Dragons is no more right now. This is like 100 times better than House of Dragons, like 1,000 times better. Like this is what should be on Sunday nights on HBO. This is what we should be waiting for at the end of the week.
Because right now they have Industry going, and I don't remember what else is going on there. But did you watch that show at all, or are you just making that because you're just pro Penguin?
I'm pro Penguin right now.
Okay, because I'm like, I heard that show's really freaking good, and I wanted to start it, quite frankly, even though it's in like season 3. But so we'll see. But man, TV's gonna be real hard because like we have so many movies to watch between now and the end of the year. And by the way, what do you have? This is so mean of me to say. Do you have your count in mind? Have you looked lately?
For movie-wise?
Yeah, because I'm very scared that I'm not going to hit our typical magic number at this point.
After the Substance, that was my 98th movie this year.
Wow, damn, you are so far ahead of me. I'm on 88.
98.
So, yeah. So, and granted, I'm probably going to watch a few movies this week. I got to cover Resball for Netflix, and my intention is to see My Old Ass, which comes out this week. So we'll see about that. But yeah, man, like I'm watching only Murders in the Building. I'm watching Slow Horses. I'm watching English Teacher. The Penguin just came out. I'm going to give Agatha a shake. And I think, it's not only you, but other people in my life have told me to watch Bad Monkey. And like, there's just so many. And then what is it this month that Shrinking comes back?
Shrinking comes back October 7th.
That's nuts. I haven't even seen a trailer.
I saw the trailer in the last Bad Monkey I watched. They had but it was like their ad, like whatever they showed before they show the show. Yeah, so October 7th. So yeah, I'm with you. Like I was sitting here earlier today, was like, man, TV is awesome right now. Because again, Slow Horses. I'm watching the new season. You'd be proud. Watch the new season of Slow Horses. Bad Monkey's going on. You forgot The Old Man on Hulu.
Oh yeah, I haven't even gotten there yet.
So like, I'm watching The Old Man, Penguin, Bad Monkey, Only Murders, Slow Horses. I'm like, in Agatha. I watched the first episode of Agatha, and I was like, all right, so this is all going on. This is a lot of TV right now. Awesome. Yeah, I'm loving it. I'm bathing in it. I'm eating it, drinking it. Let's go.
Yeah, I need yet another vacation to like catch up. I feel like I took like 2 weeks off in the last like month, and I'm still like, Jesus, I'm so behind. But yeah, I think if I calculate it right, I'm like around 88, 89. That's so rough. Like, but that's the thing is like, I don't feel like I've missed a lot.
No, you haven't. Like, again,
like some like, oh man, you didn't catch that.
No, what you missed. Like, if you just talking about me and you, like, what you missed is the Shane movies I like, the stuff you wouldn't talk. You know what I mean? Like, the Hulu 2024 movies that I watched, or some of the Shane movies are like,
right.
So I get it. You know what I mean? Because I watch crap, whatever. Perceived crap, my treasure movies. But yeah, so, I mean, you're not missing, you're not missing out like, oh, God, did you miss that one? No.
Yeah. It's not like I haven't had my fill of content this year. And anybody who listens to this podcast goes, geez, guys, we watch a lot of shit, So, and if anything, I feel like I should be watching more older stuff that I missed instead of just constantly like just meow, meow, meow. I need to watch the latest thing. But the hope is, like I told you, I will be trying to attend the Woodstock Film Festival in a couple of weeks. So at least that's like, hey, I'm dedicating a weekend to like watch a bunch of movies. Right. So hopefully, I don't think I'm going to catch up with The King, but and there's a bunch of podcasters in my life who have watched like probably 3 times as many movies as I did in a year, where they're like a movie a day practically. And you just go, damn, man, what's going on? But I'm fine. I'm fine with this type of year that I've watched less. I'm fine with it. Yeah. So, but another great episode by you, man. I'm happy for you that there's so many Shane Zone things happening all at once, whether it's film or TV. Hopefully you all out there are having a good time too. Be sure to like and subscribe and check out all the things with us along the way. We're at Recent Act Pod on the socials, and be sure to come back next week for more recent activity.